Hello, Pi. I am going to teach the colorful makeup look, and this is going to be on the right side. So some things to note is I'm going to do it on both sides, but I'm going to do one with less tools, so one brush and my fingers, and then the other side I'm just going to do it how I would normally do it, which is slightly more advanced per se. But to start off, you're gonna want some brushes. If you don't have any, then you can use any thing that is used to put eyeshadow on, and you can use your finger if you really want to. I use either setting spray or water. This is gonna help with pigment later on. You're gonna want a really colorful makeup palette, or one that has purple, orange, pink, yellow, and blue. This one, I have this one I got from Target. So yeah, just go to any makeup store, even Target I would recommend. And then you're also going to want a primer and concealer, or either or. You don't need both, but it's recommended. So first I'm going to start with putting on my base, and whenever you're doing your makeup, please go wash your face and moisturize before. So this primer is from e.l.f. I got it at Target, and I'm just going to put the tiniest dot and just put that all on my lid. And I'll just go under too, because I'm also going to be working all around my eye today. Just put it on how you would maybe put on eye cream or some sort of lotion. And then after that, I go in with my concealer. Primer helps the concealer and everything else just stick on a little better. So here's my concealer. I'm just putting a couple swipes here and there. For concealer, normally you guys can be fun and take a beauty blender, or I usually do a firm brush. I use this concealer brush. It's not as fluffy, and it just kind of has stiff bristles. And for concealer, you just want to pat it into your skin. Don't try and brush it if you're using a beauty blender, just try and pat it lightly, gently onto your skin. That's going to prevent creasing, and it's going to make your base even. There's my concealer. Now I look like a ghost, and now I'm ready to put on the eyeshadow. So I'm going to start off first with a dark purple shade. Now listen very carefully, just so we don't prevent looking like we got punched in the face. So I'm going to use this purple, because for my more advanced side, I'm going to spray some water on my hand. Now this is just kind of what I've picked up in the last few years of doing makeup, is that putting water on the brush and kind of making it damp, not wet, damp, helps your product stick on more. So then I took my purple shade and I just tapped it on top, and I tap it off of the makeup palette once, and I'm going to grab a smaller mirror because you really need to know where you're putting on your stuff. So I'm going to take my brush and I'm just going to tap it into my outer corner, just right there, just tapping it. So it's going to look like this. I'm just tapping. I'm not making any particular shape yet. I'm staying in the outer corner, and then I'm gonna go up to my crease. So the more you tap, the more it's gonna go everywhere, and you wanna control it going up into your crease. So when you close your eyes, obviously you can see everything on your lid, but when you open your eyes, you may not necessarily see all the color. So I'm gonna go up until I see more color. So I raise my eyebrows, and I'm gonna look a little funky doing this, but I'm going to then no longer tapping it. I'm going to kind of go back and forth and kind of fluff it out. So I am just going back and forth right into my crease. The crease is where the edge of your eyeball is, and it makes this line. So I'm going in, and I want to be also, for the color, make sure that it's right along your lash line, just like that. Okay, so that is good enough for now. Usually I'm gonna go back in and do it higher. Now I'm going to take more product, and I'm going to try and do the same thing with my finger. And I'm just going to do the same thing and tap my product in right in the outer corner of my eye. And for the finger method, I guess that's what we can call it, I'm gonna need to use a little bit more product than the brush, just because it doesn't stay on my finger as well. And I don't know, I've actually never tried this before. So my biggest recommendation, if you really want to make it easier for you at the end of the day, is probably just go buy one brush. It could be fluffy or not. Actually, that kind of worked really well. Okay, so there's my purple in my outer corner, close to my lash, and also fluffed up past the crease. So I'm actually gonna go back in with my purple for the brush more advanced side. I'm gonna use my mirror in front of me, and I'm just going to fluff it up even higher. I'm using kind of small, almost small circular motions, but also back and forth motion. And the brush kind of does the work. Our main goal for both of these is that you see color. So we just want color to be on, because when you're on stage, you can't see as much. Far away, you definitely can't see as much. And you want to be able to like enhance your features. So next, I am gonna go in with my next color, and that is going to be pink. For this side, I'm gonna go in with a different fluffy brush because I'm using a new color now. And I'm going to do the same thing, just right next to. And here we're getting into our blending. So now in this same palette, and this is what happens when you take makeup palettes to Ohio, it gets all cracked up and broken. I am going to take, also sticking with the warmer shades, I'm going to take my most pigmented pink. The darkest pink I have which is this one. And I actually might mix this up with a tiny bit of red this time, just to make it kind of stand out and blend in with purple more. So I'm going to do pink right next to the purple. So here's the purple in my outer corner, and I'm gonna do pink right here, right there. And we're gonna save some room because, and it's okay if you go over because it's all gonna be blended at the end of the day. It's okay if you go over because we're also gonna go in with orange and it's gonna look the same. So I am doing the same motion, tapping, tapping, tapping on my eyelid and then fluffing it up into the crease. And then I'm also going to kind of overlap with the purple just so it blends in and it kind of has like that ombre gradient look right there. Perfect. And let me do the same thing but with my finger that I will wipe. Here we go with my finger, and I am tapping, 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 tapping. You don't want to make any aggressive swiping motions when using your finger because that's going to cause some weird coloring. And don't worry, this is just our base. We're going to make this much pigmented later on. Okay, so there we have purple, purple, pink, pink. Perfect. Now I'm wiping that off. And next we're going in with orange. So we're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna grab a new brush. This one is a little bit more firm, what do you call it, stiff, and that's because I'm going more in. I just want it to be a little bit more pigmented showing. With my orange brush, I wiped some water on it, and I'm taking again my most pigmented orange, and that's gonna be this one right here. The only thing I would say about this palette is I don't think the oranges show as much as I would want them to. And you know what? We're just gonna experiment and we're gonna mix and we're gonna do this orange, and also I put my brush in this yellow a little bit. So actually my brush is a little too wet. So I'm gonna go and swipe on my finger, and this is what my hand looks like. And it's gonna look a little crazier by the end of this. So with my mirror, the orange, I'm gonna save a little bit of room in the inner corner for the yellow. I'm also gonna overlap pretty well with the pink, and the orange is gonna go right here. So tapping my orange in, orange is gonna be kind of the skinniest color here with us. I'm almost tapping it into the pink, or my direction of tapping kind of swipes outwards so it blends in nicely with the pink. And if you want to be a little bit fun, I would totally say go for like putting almost a little red if you want to be more advanced. That's probably what I would do to kind of complete the rainbow. So there, that is what it's looking like right now. And, oh, whoopsies. Wrong side. Fingers. We use our fingers on this side. And with this side, I'm also tapping it towards the pink. Not aggressive swiping, just tapping it out in an outward direction. And for either side, if you feel like the line of your eyeshadow is looking a little too harsh. Like right here, I would say this is a pretty harsh line. I'm going to go back in either with my finger or a super fluffy brush to just blend it out nicely. And it's always good to just make sure you can touch it up. So I have this fluffy brush, and with this, I literally just go right over that harsh line, and I kind of just fluff out my color. And see, it looks a little less harsh. All right, so that is 3 colors done. Now we have the last color, and our last color is yellow. So you're going to pick the yellow that looks best for your skin tone and the one that is going to stand out the most, which, using color theory, that's going to be different for everyone. Do not pick a pastel yellow like this. For the yellow, I am going to use a stiff brush because yellow is a hard color to make look pigmented and to see for against like skin tone colors. And the more stiff brush you use, the more color is gonna stay on your face when you put it on. All right, so my yellow shade, I'm just going to trace my crease, and I'm kind of just gonna go back and forth. This application method is probably not the best, but you kind of figure out what works for you. And tapping, 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 and then going along the crease. And there is my yellow. And don't worry, we're gonna make all of these more pigmented later. So now I'm going to do yellow with my finger, and I'm taking the brightest yellow, and I'm just going to do the same thing where I'm tapping it in my inner corner. And I'm also, this is probably the hardest part if you're using your finger, because my finger is kind of big and it's not working very well with my tiny inner corner. I'm just going to keep tapping it in, and I also put it, I also put it in right there, and I'm also gonna go a little under, slightly under. That is just a personal preference for me, so you don't have to go under if you don't want to. So next, we are done with our base colors, and here's what the two look like. Here is finger and here is brush. You can see brush is slightly more pigmented and finger is less pigmented, but that is okay, because our next thing, I am going to actually be using only my fingers, because for glitters I only use my fingers. So this is not in the same palette, and that's okay. If you don't have it, then it is what it is. So I'm gonna go in with this palette that I've been using as my mirror, and there is this purple shimmery shade and this more yellow shade. So I'm gonna go in with the purple first. I always start on the outside and then the inside. And let me take my pointer finger, put that right there, and I'm just going to put that right over all the purple that I've used, or I put on my lid already. And I'm using the same tapping motion. Tap, 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 tap. Brush, brush, brush. Perfect. And I'm also gonna go on the other side. Make sure to close your eye when you do this, so you get your entire lid. Like duh, Samantha. And then I also have a pink. Luckily that is in this palette, so it is the top pink, and I'm also going to use my pointer finger for this, and I am putting that right next to my purple. I do need a bigger mirror for this. And I'm putting that right next to my purple, right on top of my pink. Perfect. And then I'm also gonna go in with this kind of, it's almost orange, so I only use a little bit. And it's more of a bronzy color, but it's just to add some shimmer to my eyelids. And all this is optional, because if you don't have the shimmers, then you don't. But if you need it and you want it, then you can ask me. And then I'm also going to go in with my yellow. So here's my yellow. And I'm putting that in the inner corner. And this is going to have some weird angles on camera, but it's hard to get a good angle to do that. So there is one side. Grab a little more. Start in the inner corner. So now that that is done, there is your colors. Pretty, pretty, pretty. I also like to add some glitter. This is also completely optional. I have some of these fun things. This is a glitter gold eyeshadow, and this is a more bronzy rose gold eyeshadow eyeliner. And I'm gonna go in with this one first. I only use these on the inner half of my eye, and with this one I'm just going to slightly go up my orange color, and then I'm going to do that on the same color. And honestly, if you have any glitter eyeshadow, liquid glitter eyeshadow that matches these colors, I would say totally go for it, because the more the merrier. You're gonna look amazing on that floor. So here's my yellow gold. This one is on its last leg, so who knows if I'll actually be able to use it for comp. And it's a discontinued product, so I put that right there. And after these colors, we're gonna move on to the hardest part. For this side, I'm going to take, and this one I would say does require a brush of some sort, because, and preferably your shortest, most stiff brush, again, because this is kind of a more advanced, extra little flare tie into your look that you can do. And I'm going to be using this blue color, because we do have blue on our costumes, and I would love to incorporate that into the makeup look, because I'm a sucker for blue. And I put some water on my brush, and now I'm kind of just making it damp enough to hold some product. And I went in with this blue, and I put that. So this brush, where's the lighting? Where's the lighting? Okay, this brush is kind of angular, and it points up, and it's very short and tiny, so any version of that would be nice. Even this one that I used, I would also use or these angled brushes work, or this one works. I think I did use this one last time I tried to do this makeup look. So next step, you are going to put your blue eyeshadow under your eye. That is going to, and it's gonna blend in with the purple pretty nicely. So it's gonna go on the outer corner of your eye, but under. And we're not gonna go all the way across, and we're not going on our waterline. We're just going under. So I'm going to take, and I'm just going to swipe it with my brush right under. So right there, I'm going to kind of buff it in because sometimes the pigment doesn't go on all the way. Perfect. And next, I am going to, and you can do your eyeliner before you do this step, but I'm going to draw a line to angling. It's going to point towards the tail end of my eyebrow. That is just how you're gonna be able to get it down every time. I'm going to drag this color up like that. And it's going to look messy, and I'm not really the best person at eyeliner, but let me see if I can make this look decent. But when you put your black eyeliner on, you're also going to put it in the same place as your blue so it looks like eyeliner. And that is like the last little flare I do. I sometimes will take my blue and put it up here as well. And this looks better when I put some mascara on. Okay, so that kind of opens up the eye a little bit, putting some color under. And I'm gonna do the same thing. Let me demonstrate again. So here's my eye, and I'm going to start buffing it into the corner here. And the beauty of makeup is that this really does not have to be perfect. So if you want some blue and you want to try this, I say go for it because it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm really just smudging some blue under my eye like that. And I actually don't know how I did this the other night. I completely forgot. I am dragging it up. And there we go. And when I put my eyeliner on later, after this, it's going to help with the blue, and then I put more blue on top of the eyeliner. So here's your final makeup look for the duck show that I don't know what it's called because I already forgot. Yellow, orange, pink, purple, blue. Thank you for watching. Happy practicing. I am excited to see you guys all look amazing.